Matapos ang eleksyon, ang tanong, pumalya ba ang mga survey? Alamin natin sa agenda report ni Sujin Kim.
Ang mga survey na karaniwang itinuturing na barometer ng opinyon ng mga botante bago ang eleksyon ay muling naging center of attention matapos ang midterm elections. Ilan sa mga kilalang polling firm ay ang SWS, Pulse Asia at Publicus Asia. Kasama sa mga final survey ang mga pangalan ng mga kandidatong malaki ang tsansang makapasok sa Magic 12. Pero ang aktual na result hindi tumugma sa mga final survey. Ang Pulse Asia survey noong Abril, bagamat nakapagbigay ng mataas na ranggo kina Bongo at Erwin Tulfo, hindi nito naisama sina Kiko Pangilinan at Bam Aquino sa top 10. Wala rin sa survey nila pero pasok sa top 12 sina Amy Marcos at Rodante Marcoleta. Bigo rin ng polls na makuha ang pagkalaglag ni Bong Revilla, Ben Tulfo, Abby Binay at Willie Revillame. Ang SWS, hindi rin naisama si Bam, Kiko at Marcoleta sa Magic 12. Di rin nakapasok ang lumabas na probable winners sa SWS na sina Ben, Abby at Bong. Samantala, kapansin-pansin na ang Publicus Asia ang nakapagbigay ng pinakatumpak na resulta sa Magic 12. Dalawa lang ang hindi nakapasok sa kanilang final survey, si Ben Tulfo at Manny Pacquiao. Nakuha rin nito ang patuloy na pag-slide ni Amy Marcos sa rankings. Makikita sa aktual na bilangan na malaki ang diferensya sa mga final ranking ng mga kandidato. Ang tanong, oras na ba para baguhin ng mga polling firm ang kanilang metodolohiya?
Many people kasi tend to think that surveys are, there to condition the mind of the people, to ensure that there is this concept of winnability among others. No, but what they fail to realize is that surveys provide a necessary tool so that they will be able to reassess, recalibrate, restructure, reformat their respective campaigns. For example, if you are Bam Aquino and Kiko Pangilinan, and you saw that you are lagging in the pre-poll surveys, what will you do? You try to heighten your campaign.
Kung ang mga survey lumilihis sa aktual na resulta, binubuksan nito ang usapin tungkol sa kung paano nga ba kumakalat ng datos ang mga survey firm at kung gaano ito ka-accurate.
As with any other kind of system, I believe instruments like statistical measures or statistical treatment are actually susceptible to some degrees of errors. I would not want to say that surveys are not reliable because for the many years and many election cycles that we have been having the pre-poll surveys, I believe that they were able to deliver around 90 to around 98% accuracy.
It happens naman every elections, no? Especially if there are tight races in different positions, no? They would always accuse survey firms that they are gearing towards trending or they are said to be manipulating the so-called data. But I still believe that these survey firms are trying their best to give the public a snapshot of the voter preference at a given time.
Dapat pa bang magtiwala ang publiko sa mga survey o meron talagang mga aspeto na hindi nasusukat tulad ng last-minute voter shift o misinterpretation mula sa mga respondent?
Because of the too much political noise and too much political pressure that is happening or that has happened in the months leading to the election. So I think that was the reason why we couldn't get the accurate sentiment on the ground.
The survey firms cannot just predict these late shifts in voter preferences, especially if there would be late endorsements coming from let's say political groups or influential religious groups like what the Iglesia ni Cristo did.
Nauna namang sinabi ni Pulse Asia President Ronald Holmes sa Billionaire News Channel na susuriin nila ang kanilang methodology at sampling method.
Well, we were expecting it. Honestly, the results really were quite wild. No? But this result leads us to really do our own review of our own sampling, our own methodology.
Ito na raw ang pinakamalaking variance na nakita ni Holmes sa mahigit 2 dekada. Para sa agenda, Sujin Kim, Billionaire News Channel.